Good morning, everyone. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning and welcome, everyone. Just a quick reminder that this is the Umatilla County Board of Commissioners, March 4th, 2026, and this meeting is available online. If anyone's here to speak on any subject that is not on the agenda under public comments, we do ask that you hold it to 2 to 3 minutes, please. We have a short but long agenda today, and so I look forward to the presentations. Invite everyone, when you are finished, if you want to stay for the full meeting, to please feel free to do so. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Awards, recognitions, and correspondence. Commissioner Timmons?
Nope.
None for me either, other than the recognition of a lot of our visitors that we'll hear from today. Look forward to that. Approval of minutes, previous meeting from February 18th, 2026.
I move to approve the minutes.
I'll second that. There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The minutes from February 18th passed. The next item on the agenda, any additions, Nick? Not that I'm aware of it. Thanks.
Okay.
So at this time, any public input? Anybody that wants to speak on anything that is not on the agenda? Seeing none, we're going to move into our business items, and I would like to invite Evelyn Hayes. First of all, Marty, do you want to come up and let us know how come and why
Absolutely.
Evelyn is here?
So I'm Marty Campbell, and I'm the ag teacher and FFA advisor at Pendleton High School. And Evelyn has qualified through district and sectional competition to go to the state FFA convention and compete in prepared public speaking. And so we have been dragging her to as many audiences as possible to get her confidence built up. And so this morning, Commissioner Doran has invited her to come and speak to you all. And so we'll let her speak and ask a couple follow-up questions. And then if anybody has any critique, just send it our way and we'll throw it right at her.
Evelyn, the one thing that we do ask is that you give your name and address, and you can use the school's address, but your name and address so that we have that on the record for the meeting today. So first of all, congratulations, and the floor is yours.
I'm Evelyn Hayes, grade 6 office. Many of the speeches you've heard and will hear are about traditional agriculture and the futures of our FFA members. But before I peep my parcel on the coming future, let's take a blast to the past real fast. Pretend this is a mustard seed. And just like this mustard seed, the agricultural revolution during the Paleolithic era started with one innovation into human survival after the next, turning one small idea into a world of self-sufficient survival grown in the soil. While this type of agri-tradition is efficient, there is a superior technique. What if we, as an agricultural industry, were able to have more food crops on a reduced amount of land through hydroponics, therefore benefiting our economy with an increase of supply and less demand? The national population having a healthier outlook for food sources, as well as reducing the risks of foodborne illnesses. Hydroponics has and will prevent food insecurity throughout our nation. With all of this in mind, what is hydroponics? Well, it's the cultivation of particular crops in water systems, structured to allow for more plants on a reduced amount of land. But how are nutrients able to reach the roots of these plants? And will excess water usage contribute to the overall water conservation crisis? First of all, our plant science class has taught us the 3 core elements needed for the growth of plants: carbon dioxide, water, and sunlight. According to Princeton University, the use of controlled environment agriculture follows this basic formula and does away with all unnecessary products that have become essential to our current agricultural system, such as soil and pesticides. Thus, resources included in traditional farming can be saved for resource essential crops like corn and wheat, while lettuce and tomatoes do not require soil. As to water conservation, this system uses 90% less water than traditional farming, and necessary elements like phosphate, potassium, and nitrogen can be added to the water. Additionally, these crops grown indoors and hydroponically can be grown anywhere in the world at any time of the year, regardless of weather conditions, availability of cultivatable land, or soil quality. Thus, 3 to 10 times more crops can be grown in these systems depending on the size of the greenhouse unit, while there is no wait period needed after harvesting one crop cycle and planting the next, making for an increased crop production per year. Princeton University states that by 2050, we will need to increase crop production by around 70% in order to meet the caloric needs of a global population of around 9.8 billion people. So, as we all know, the agricultural industry will have to sustain those new generations, and hydroponics is the way to do it. With an increase of supply for a growing demand, prices for these products will decrease, stalling our inflation prices here in the United States. In terms of yield per square foot on farmland, traditionally grown crops are in less supply than hydroponically grown crops, costing more as the need for healthier meal plans in commercial institutions is rising. With this heightened demand, some consumers are not able to afford nutrient-dense foods that are required for a healthy diet. The National Institute on Minority Health and Health Disparities states that food insecurity and the lack of access to affordable, nutritious foods are associated with multiple chronic health conditions, such as diabetes, heart disease, mental health disorders, as well as other diseases. In 2020, almost 15% of U.S. households were considered unable to access enough food to support active, healthy lifestyles. In nearly half of these households, children were also found food insecure, which has implications for school experience and human development. Ashwaubenon High School and Waukesha High School in Wisconsin have been able to utilize federal food grants to implement hydroponics into their school food system, providing for fresh and affordable foods faster. Specifically, 9 square feet of hydroponic system in Waukesha school cafeteria was able to produce as many vegetables as 100 square foot field would. Thus, the usage of hydroponics in schools and other community institutions, especially in my hometown of Pendleton, Oregon, is only a morsel compared to what can be done on a large scale within the U.S., as well as lending other countries a tool in battling their own such food insecurity. While previously stated food insecurity regards affordability, one other insecurity is prevalent within society. I am positive it was terrifying in 2006 to be reading through Everyday News and find that 205 people fell ill and 3 died from an E. coli outbreak within the Dole Baby Spinach group, who released extra cultivation land from a previous cattle ranch owner. Professor Sanjay Illig, researcher at the Ohio State University, is researching how hydroponics eliminates the spread of bacteria like E. coli. She states when plants are grown outdoors, irrigation water is a huge risk factor. When water is introduced to plants in different modes in hydroponic environments, irrigation has the slight potential to contaminate crops due to disease or pest penetration. But controlling the water input applies safe precautions within it. In conventional farming, runoff from contaminated animal operations and aquifers can send a whole field of crop down the drain and have wasted all the producer's money. Thus, the systematic implementation of these facilities must be accompanied by preventative measures to ensure the safety of the increased crop output. Despite the multiplicity of benefits that come from hydroponics, the main challenge to these systems estranges many farmers looking to upgrade. The cost of hydroponics includes infrastructure material, power, water usage, nutrient extracts, as well as the growing facilities themselves. Combining all of these variables together, prices can average and exceed $17,000 depending on the commerciality of the greenhouse unit. Likewise, the labor costs and precautions necessary to effectively use a hydroponic system takes time, effort, energy, skill, and a small labor force according to production quota. On the other hand, when faced with retrospective time and land management in saving these future expenditures, hydroponics allows for a decreased risk of possible bankruptcy for commercial. as traditional farming practices are still vital for particular crops throughout the world. Hydroponic cultivation allows for an increase of supply to decrease inflation, the national population, having a healthier outlook for food sources, as well as reducing the risk of foodborne illnesses within the agricultural industry and consumer community. For my supervised agricultural experience, I strive to research and learn how I can help develop this new technology for our growing communities. Next time you find yourself realizing the daunting task of feeding 9.8 billion people and wonder, where in the world are we going to start? Remember that hydroponics is an amazing first step in this inspiring task. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow.
Marty, you want additional questions for Evelyn?
Yeah,
Or do you
there's a
want
couple.
them do you want them from the crowd or from you?
If anybody has one, you're sure welcome to share it.
Does anybody have a question for Evelyn? Marty has a few.
I can prime the pump anyway.
Okay, thanks, Marty.
So you connected hydroponics to food security, Evelyn. How can hydroponics help address things like food deserts?
I believe that hydroponics can help address things like food deserts because the hydroponic systems themselves are an amazing way to introduce many different varieties of foods and crop into urban deserts and food deserts, specifically in urban areas that are essentially cut off from very local growth of vegetables and different crops. Being able to utilize hydroponic systems into vacant warehouses or even in schools and community institutions is an amazing way to eliminate food deserts and to create a better economical system and status in that community, and to provide better production and profit for consumers, or if it's just production, be able to again offer a healthier outlook and nutrient density for consumers.
You mentioned implementing hydroponics in your SAE, your supervised agriculture experience. What would be your first steps in starting a project like that?
The first steps that I would say are very important to be able to start a project like this is doing a lot of different research on the different types of hydroponic systems that can be implemented into your home or other small areas. For example, I had to do a lot of research into the different systems that I want to be able to implement. For now, I've been able to find systems that work with my resources, my space, and my time. And for instance, that's the bottle use method of hydroponics. And with this method, I am able to use just consistent water intake and nutrient supply, as well as small spaces for my hydroponics to be able to grow. And for anybody else, I believe that being able to find just all in all, be able to research and then therefore collect resources that are available is the best way to be able to create this system the most sustainable resource that we can find.
I'm going to go ahead and jump in. Thanks, Mark. Evelyn, what an incredible job. You shine. So what's the next steps on your journey to the gold medal?
In terms of speaking,
What's the schedule? When do you, what's the next competition for you?
my next competition is going to be on March 19th in Redmond.
In Redmond. I think that you're going to do great. You put on just an amazing mature presentation today. I was overly impressed, and obviously the teaching is also impressive. But Commissioner Timmons?
Wow. That's very impressive. I have all sorts of questions, but the one thing I want to ask you, Evelyn, is what made you decide to use this as a topic?
I am, for most of my life, my family has been really just loves the outdoors, loves to garden a lot. I was raised doing a lot of gardening, and my mom loves to be able to, especially in Oregon, to be able to find different plants that she can grow in these arid conditions. And then last year, I had to have a speech for my FFA class just to be able to have an assignment. And I got thinking, and I thought, well, this food insecurity is a huge ag issue that I want to address. And because of my love for plants, in my room I have so many different plants that I've been able to cultivate, and I've been able to do different hydroponic things with those as well. And so I thought, well, this is a great way to be able to put my passion into words and to be able to share it with my community and to be able to make a greater awareness for this new technology that is not technically supposed to replace conventional farming, but instead, hopefully in the future, I hope that it can complement conventional farming. And so being able to give this speech to so many different people with the help of Mr. Campbell has been just an amazing opportunity.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
We have to move on our agenda, but really, thank you very much. Good luck. You're carrying Umatilla County on
Yes.
your shoulders, for sure.
Thank you all very much for giving us the time, and
Thank you.
we gotta get back to school now.
That's pretty impressive. Okay, this is going to be a tough one to follow, Mark, but Mark Browning, president of Blue Mountain Community College.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As stated, Mark Browning, Blue Mountain Community College, 2411 Northwest Cardin Avenue here in town. I should have had Evelyn.
She could sit right here.
That is very impressive. Purpose to come before you today, we entered into a partnership a couple of years ago on some workforce efforts that especially targeted towards augmenting our available workforce of Spanish speakers into the English community and English into the Spanish community, and it has been a tremendous success. We've been concentrating language conversion classes both in Hermiston and in Milton Freewater, and they've been going very well. We have identified a way to expand some of the efforts that we want to do by reaching into the high schools at an earlier age. And we have available funds still within the existing balance of the funds that you all so generously allocated a few years back. We'd like to get your consent to go ahead and do that. What our plan is to put embedded personnel in all go into Echo, Stanfield, Hermiston, and Umatilla. The northeast side would be at Mackay, Athena Weston, and Key West. Dual bilingual navigators in those high schools 1 to 2 days a week, working with students, identifying ways to augment their Spanish to English, English to Spanish, and helping. What we're finding is it's really a familial in the community, and if we can help augment what we're doing by trying to get to mom and dad and aunt and grandma through the high school children, it sets it up. We see great success. That's what we'd like to do with the available monies. And I think it's a good idea. We see great success with whenever we put somebody in a high school, they have great success in terms of connecting students to opportunity. And yes, we love them to come to BMCC, but if they go to Oregon State or if they go to some other opportunity, great. We're just trying to open it up.
Mark, I guess I would really be remiss because it really fits into how we put this whole program together in the first place, and that was really kind of on a workforce basis. And from all of the simplest things, if a forklift driver doesn't speak English, he doesn't get to a supervisor position. And we've heard of the successes of the program. Pretty proud of that. I see the same thing even at the high school levels. If they don't have the ability to speak like Evelyn and take advantage of the programs that are offered, it's not going to give them that next step up towards the workforce development. But also even in the, like, I'm glad you brought it up, even at the family level. If you can't have those conversations at home, it's hard to have those conversations in public. So I'm very much, if there's monies left, to me, Commissioner Timmons.
The only question I have is, you've already reached out to the schools. You've had conversation with the schools.
We've had preliminary conversations about bringing folks in. They're all very receptive.
They are, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. They're looking for the help. Because what we're finding with students across the board, regardless of ethnicity. Students need more, they need more help now. It's different than, how many stories do we hear about, well, back, when I went, it's just different now. And student needs are different. You need help. But I think what you're getting on is someone who it's a level of confidence they can then interact. And that's just that next, any advantage we can give them. Because quite selfishly, we need them. Right? We need them in our economy.
Yeah.
We need them helping to provide the services that are here that make our communities run.
One of the programs that I'm really proud that the county really jumped in.
Well, we have been so grateful for your vision and support with it. It's been good for us.
Let me ask this question real quick. That was a very, very flexible grant. Do we need to take action for Mark to move further?
Yes.
Because it goes beyond the scope, our
I think
original
it'd be
scope.
cleaner.
Also-
I think we'd all
Okay.
just feel
Also
cleaner
need to
about it.
probably amend the agreement.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay, so you guys will amend it, bring it back, and we'll take care of it. Perfect. I want to say thank you for accepting this program and partnering with us on this, because it's been huge.
I would just say thank you to all of you. It's been a big part, and we're chatting before the meeting that if we can ignore Salem and DC, life's pretty good. And
You know how, let me know.
yeah, we'll work on it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
you.
Mark. That was, thank you very much. Next on the agenda is one of my favorite people, is the Stepping Stones Executive Director, Jesslyn. Would you please, it's your turn. And
Jesslyn Cole, 174306 West Byron Road in Rosser, Washington.
yeah, we know.
I'm happy to be here this morning. It was quite a rainy drive, but I need it. So I brought the 2025 annual report from Stepping Stones, and just going to point out some highlights. I did leave some copies back there. If anyone wants one, please feel free to take that. We are excited that 2025 was our first year operating all three programs, the Sleep Center, the individual shelter units, and the Navigation Center. So we were able to give a much clearer picture of what we are doing in just the highlights, but most specifically the finances and how that's all operating. So some different highlights from 2025. We were able to get grant dollars for various projects that hadn't been completed and finish some things on campus. We hosted No Address at the Hermiston Cinema, made some new partnerships through that. That was sponsored by AWS and just brought more awareness to the community about what homelessness looks like throughout the country, not just in our area. And celebrated the third year of consecutive service to guests in the Sleep Center. So things are moving right along. We continue to do lots of outreach. Kicked off my tour last night at Umatilla City Council, and then here today, and then several more engagements this month, making it out to service groups. There will be a post on our Facebook today. If any other organization or group is looking for a presentation, I'm happy to come share what we do and how people can get involved in helping out with serving the homeless. Sleep Center is clicking right along. We continue to have some really reliable volunteers helping with that. And then the main support we get through our Sleep Center is the meals that we serve. So almost all of the dinners that we serve guests are donated. We have several local restaurants that help out with that, individuals, some church groups, some that make freezer meals for us to use on nights we don't have somebody coming in to serve. And then Sleep Center numbers continuing to grow, which kind of surprises us. We still see lots of new people. However, the people we are serving have ties to the community. There may be one or two that pass through once in a while, but stay a night or two. By and large, those that we are serving do have a history in the community or family in the area. Navigation Center, we continue to grow that space, adding different classes for our members. Some are things we think they need, financial education, resume building, interview skills, and then some that are just to build community and have fun, playing board games. We have a pretty good library of books for members to take, We do have computers in the navigation center that they can use, and we help link them to the resources that they need to work on their goals. Last year, my annual report, I kind of tried to define success within our organization, which is really difficult to define. This year, I was able to share some of our success stories and just the idea that we really are working on long-term solutions. So it's not overnight that we get somebody into permanent housing, but it's a long process and looks different for each of our guests and members. As I said, the revenues and expenses are much clearer having had a full year with all of our programs. We are very fortunate to be our own nonprofit working under the intergovernmental agreement of PATH and able to access funds from many different areas. Right now, we're working with a grant that's coming through the state. And then we have our PATH members that will help out if funds are not there. And then we seek out grant funds for projects that aren't covered under any of those. Our annual gala, that was the second year we had it. We were already set to host again October 10th, 2026. It was a great fun night. We had a wonderful MC. Thank you for doing that for us. Brings in people, shares awareness, gives local community members just another way to find out what we're doing and how they can be tapped in and help out with all of our success stories and all the work we're doing. Again, grants and donations, always looking for how we can get money from different areas, help our own sustainability, and not rely too much on one revenue source. Next steps, we are continuing to grow partnerships, giving tours all the time. Would welcome anyone to come check out what we're doing. We created an online or virtual tour that is online. It's on our website and on our Facebook page. So if you can't make it out, you can look at that. And then some of the bigger projects we're coming to fruition now will be the outdoor common space with the pavilion and cooking area, and then the indoor suppression system for the stove and the navigation center. Those should be wrapped up by the end of May. And then the next big project, we're looking at replacing our bathroom shower trailer. Hopefully with a permanent building, we'll see what that looks like. Those are the big ones. Board of directors going strong. We did get 2 new board members at the end of the year and are still looking for 1 more. We need to fill our treasurer position. And then staff is doing really well. We have all 3 of our admin staff have celebrated 3-year anniversaries with the organization. We have 2 hourly staff that have celebrated their 1-year anniversary, and almost all of our staff have some sort of lived experience, whether it's with actual homelessness or substance abuse. It just runs the gamut and gives us a very broad background to pull from when we're working with our guests and members and showing them that there is definite hope and a way out. Any questions?
Yeah, I think the one thing, just so that the people in the audience know, is PATH was developed as a kind of a regional effort between Echo, Stanfield, Hermiston, Umatilla County, and now is added Boardman and Erie. And it's been a one of those kind of bright spots for sure. Was part of the original pilot grant in 2021. Has been one of the, it's an example for the rest of the state. It gets used as an example for the rest of the state. Out of that pilot program, there were 9 original, I think 7 actually evolved into programs, and there's probably only 3 that stand out as successes. So it's one of those things that the county's a partner in that really has been a highlight. Does it address all the issues? Does it solve all the issues? No. Does it solve what is right in front of us? To a degree. It does. Jesslyn and Stepping Stones have put together a program that is very accepting of everyone. that tolerates, well, the acceptance level is very high. The tolerance level is very kind of realistic. And so I think your program has been amazing. I think a couple of the other highlights is your agreement with Marlette. I think that if you want to kind of touch on that real quick would be.
Sure. So we started the program with 21 individual shelter units that were built with volunteer labor. They look like Conestoga wagons. And then Marlette came in and they designed a unit that is roughly the same square footage, but it's a different shape, so it looks larger. But they use remnant materials and their own volunteer labor from their employees. They have a volunteer program. And so they're able to create one of those a month if we had capacity. We're waiting to get on city services to really grow, but we did end up installing 2 of those in November, December last year, and they're working out fabulously. So that's a huge partnership that was put in place and will continue to grow.
And you make it sound easy. They actually had to get approved, HUD approval, just like you would a HUD home. So they had to go through that whole process, and they did it all on their own. Did pretty high expense. So anyway, there's a lot of other small and large successes and challenges. But Commissioner Timmons?
Jesselyn and I sit on several committees for homeless. I just wanted to comment, you've got to be thrilled that the report that came out of CAPO, that funding is okay for the next biennium. I mean, that was huge, especially in the area that you work in. The one long term that we're dealing with is Medicaid cuts and SNAP cuts. We know that that's coming down the pike. How does that influence the work that you're doing?
So, I mean, it will. We'll have to wait and see. We were surprised when the threat to SNAP benefits came through previously, how few of our members actually depend on SNAP benefits.
Okay.
So we have considerable numbers of both guests and members that have jobs that do qualify for some benefits, but low levels. So we had pulled them together and they started making family meals and have continued to do that. So it's really just helped us build better community within what we're working with. So we don't provide any meals for our members who live on site. They are independent in that. We do use our shuttle to make sure they get to the food banks so that they get groceries that way. But we work with them to figure out what are your resources, where can we get this, where can we help with this, but we aren't making meals for our members.
Oh,
So
that's interesting. Okay.
yeah, so it's just our guests that we're serving the dinner and the breakfast, and then meals our members are self-sufficient for meals.
In your independent shelter units, are they full?
Yeah.
Do you have a waiting list?
No, we have a couple guests who are working towards their 14 days and getting on par with being able to move into one, but we do not have anyone who is continuing to stay at the sleep center waiting for a unit to open up right now.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for all the work you do.
Jesselyn, thanks a million. The one thing I do want to point out is if you go to Stepping Stone Or Path Facebook page, they do post a list of things they need. I need to cut my wife off.
Please don't.
There is a place if you anything from a pair of socks to a box of cereal. They do post that, and it's amazing how the community has supported that list and really made sure that it stays fairly full. They'll make a call if it's not full. So, thanks a million, Jesselyn.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, the next item on our agenda is the approval for emergency HVAC repair. And Dan is here.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dan Lanai, Director of Administrative Services. And before you is for, as you mentioned, our emergency repair service for HVAC at our development disabilities and juvenile facility there. $8,331. Heating in there.
Quick question, Dan. When was this unit installed? Is this,
Those units, I mean, originally we put all that in as part of the American Bat 2000, Bush, into the Bush area at the
Oh,
beginning of the,
this is not part of the new HVAC?
no, these are just the whole system that we have out there,
Okay.
and it's one of the manifolds have worn out and
Gotcha.
need to be replaced.
Okay. Mr. Timmons?
Yes. I move to approve the payable to Murphy's Heating and Air in the amount of $8,331.
I'll second that. There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thanks, Dan.
All right, thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the laptop purchases for the Umatilla County Sheriff's Office. Good morning, Josh.
Morning, Commissioners. Josh Roberts, Criminal Division Lieutenant at the Sheriff's Office. Before you is a request to purchase 7 Lenovo ThinkPad laptop computers. So last year, IT put us on notice that Microsoft is not going to be supporting Windows 10 anymore and encourage everybody to upgrade to 11. However, we had several laptops out in our cars. We use them as what's known as mobile data terminals, and they were not upgradable. I think these 7 were from 2019, 2020 era, and so under the request of IT, we're looking to replace all those old ones with newer updated laptops. Additionally, these are going to have internal cellular SIM cards, so we're phasing out. We've been using some external USB sticks, and so we're just kind of moving a little bit more into the 21st century with our technology as it advances. That's it. Questions?
I don't have any. I move to approve for computer purchase from Price Computers for a total cost of $11,165.
I'll second that. There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Lieutenant Robert. Next is another Sheriff's Office payable.
Morning, Commissioner. I'm Sergeant Ward. I'm Captain for Administrative Service Division for the Sheriff's Office. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for your time. I just have a payable in front of me. This is for repairs made to a 2019 Ford Explorer that was not in commission anymore for my civil deputy, but the time was. And so we had some repairs that were causing some operational issues with it that I approved. This is an old bill. It was out of area for an extended period of time. Laura prepared it for me, and so I'm just now placing it forward. Do you have questions at all?
I just have a comment.
Nice.
Is there any way that they would forgive that finance charge? I hate to pay a
I
finance
mean, I
charge.
could.
Can you
I
ask
could
them?
certainly do that. I could reach out to them and ask them for that.
Okay.
That's really my issue because we haven't paid it for such a long time. So, but I can certainly ask them.
My only question is, I think I asked this even way back when, is why did we go to LeGrand and not locally?
So we're getting just better service overall in Legacy, and that's just kind of the recommendation for getting them vehicles in and out and getting response. I don't have a lot of experience with them because I'm not running the whole fleet,
Right.
but that is certainly where the better service is coming from. And then if I speak really candidly, there's also some concerns about some of the people on staff with the local as far as security for our vehicles, in that some of the people that are working there, we interact with on a criminal element. So,
I think that's legitimate.
yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
That's all I got.
All right. I move to approve payment for vehicle repairs in the total cost of $5,724.74. Hopefully you can get rid of that finance charge. Okay, thank you. Thank
I'll
you.
second it, but I had one more question. Is that car, that vehicle's gone now, right?
That vehicle's gone now. Yeah, I
Okay,
think as of this month, I think they pulled it off.
Gotcha.
Lieutenant Roberts could probably speak to that better.
Okay.
He's managing that, so.
No, I think he and I
But
talked.
my guy's in a new vehicle. That's what I know.
Perfect. Yeah, no.
Good deal.
Thank you very much. There's
You're
been a
welcome.
motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All righty. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The next item is the ODOT grant request for Highway 11. Megan? Where's your backup? I saw her.
handle this one.
Okay.
Morning Commissioners, Megan Dodge, County Planning Manager. As you both know, we, through our office, we operate a community service, well, it's a community involvement group for Highway 11. We provide advertising for drive safe messaging, and we have a group that meets over there about once a month to promote safe driving along Highway 11. ODOT has invited the county to apply to duplicate those efforts on Highway 395. And so this request before you today is to apply for that grant funding and exact duplication of our Highway 11 efforts. So budgeting for marketing, messaging, as well as Sheriff's Office overtime patrols. So the grant does require 20% match from the county, which we are proposing the in-kind match, which would be our department staff time for hosting the meetings, developing the marketing materials, doing radio advertising, that sort of stuff. And that in-kind match amount would be at $7,000.
Thank you, Megan.
I just want to comment that the sheriff's office is doing a fantastic job of Highway 11 patrolling. I know that for a fact. Been pulled over several times. I think it is. Yeah, and they're there. I mean, you can certainly see that they're out there, and I very much appreciate that. So, yeah.
Make a motion.
Yes. I move to authorize staff to submit the grant application.
I second that. Been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Before you go though, Megan, did you get my email on Highway 395 on that corridor?
That's what this one is. This is for 395. So the Highway 11 grant came before the board a couple weeks ago. This is for the Highway 395 of Hermiston. So taking the efforts that we're doing along Highway 11
Oh,
and doing
and
them
just
on
duplicating
395.
it. Okay.
Yes.
'Cause
So
I'll let-
we would be having two active grants under the ODOT's Transportation
Which is
Safety
cool.
Office.
yeah.
One in Milton Freewater along Highway 11, one in Hermiston along 395.
So I do have a question on that then.
Okay,
How
sure.
far north do you go on 395?
So there's not really a limit on, basically the grant is for education, marketing, and then the sheriff's office overtime.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if they limit where their patrols go. But basically what our office does is we push marketing for for example, we would contact the radio in Hermiston to run ads through their programming. We target social media ads on Facebook. And so we target those to the Hermiston area.
Okay.
And so, and Umatilla in this case. For Highway 11, it's pretty much the Milton Freewater and sometimes over into Pound.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No, I think it's very important. And I think Kelly's was pretty excited to Billy Joe?
Billy Joe.
Billy Joe
Yeah.
was pretty excited when it came together. Thank you very much to you and your whole team on
Does that
these.
clarify it? So
It does. I
Mhm.
just was rereading it. It
Okay.
confused me on the but both of them will be active at the same time.
we are applying for both. We would manage both of
Perfect. Thank you, Megan.
them. Different funding.
Very important to the county for sure. Those two stretches, 395, they call it the most dangerous stretch in Oregon, and Highway 11 is not very far behind.
Mhm.
And thank you to the Umatilla County Sheriff's Office for the patrol on that too. It's
Mhm.
it doesn't work unless you guys and even the troopers too. So it doesn't work unless you guys team up on that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
UCF purchase.
Morning, Commissioners. Nick Warner, Deputy County Counsel. Standing in here today for their 4 years business item. It's a contract came out of $5,000 for entertainment products.
No, but we're going to see several of these rapid fire.
This should be the second to last, I think. There's two of them have already gone through.
There's going to be a few more.
I actually looked these folks up online, and
I wouldn't have.
they're, oh boy, oh, they're excellent. I mean, what I heard so far was really good. So, yeah. I move to approve of Tyler and the train robbers $5,000 total, deposit of $2,500 upon signing of contract.
Second, got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Thank you, Nick. Sage, the next is the county drought declaration. Very hot subject right now.
Good morning, Commissioners. Sage Long, Umatilla County Emergency Manager. Forgive my hat here. I got to get a haircut, so present better next time. So before you, I will read off of kind of the subject. Obviously, it's a county drought declaration, but I will go into the staff report for you guys, and then move into. I won't directly read through the staff report that's provided, but I will kind of guide you of why we're at this process. So what is before the board today is a local drought declaration for Umatilla County. The current indicators included in the U.S. Drought Monitor show significant below normal snowpack at local SNOTEL monitor sites, and lower reservoir storage levels indicate conditions trending below normal heading into the spring runoff season. While we have seen some recent rainfall, the primary concern is seasonal water supply. Snowpack acts as a natural reservoir across the landscape, slowly releasing water into the soil streams and reservoirs during the spring and summer months. Current snowpack measurements at monitoring sites within or immediately adjacent to Umatilla County range from roughly 0% to 37%. Reservoir storage is also below typical seasonal levels, with Mackay Reservoir about 34% full and Cold Springs Reservoir about 29% full. Approval today would allow the county to submit a formal drought declaration request to the state of Oregon for review. Current conditions, 100% of Umatilla County is currently experiencing drought conditions. Approximately 55% of the county is classified in severe drought, D2. And for those classifications, there's D0, D1, D2, D3, D4. D1 is moderate drought, lower stream flows, and increased wildfire risk, whereas D2 severe drought is considered crop losses likely, water shortage, and possible reservoirs decreasing in capacity. I did happen to pull the local snowpack indicators. So if you go to the second one, the third one, AWS plots snow water equivalent in mid-Columbia graph there. So you can see that it was uptrending. This was pulled in the end of February. Currently, the conditions have stabilized and they are on the decline as of this morning. What I will show the county is that the snow water equivalent in Middle Columbia, that covers all the way to Cascade Locks and in parts of Washington. So what I did also was pull the local snowpack indicators. So Immigrant Springs contributes to the upper Umatilla River drainage near Immigrant Springs Campground. That's at 0% median snow equivalent. High Ridge SNOTEL, which is near Buck Creek Highway 204, and this feeds into the Umatilla River tributaries, 37% of the median. Bowman Springs, this is there the Union and Umatilla border, 10% of median, and then the Lucky Strike SNOTEL, this is Swiss Flat, Kearney Butte, east of Highway 395, is at 12% of median. High Reservoir is at 24,324. 71,534 acre feet, and Cold Springs Reservoir is 11,046 acre feet out of 38,000. So before the board today, I would look to adopt order number BCC 2026-011. And then I would ask that this process starts and coordinates across agriculture, municipal, natural resource, and public safety partners as the region approaches the spring and summer season. And I'd love to adopt this order. Are there any further questions?
Yeah, I just have a couple. The first, thank you. This was very comprehensive, that's for sure. You did your research on this. And I see from the drought outlook, even through the first or the end of May, it looks kind of bleak. If we do a drought declaration, how does that help our irrigators, our agriculture community?
So what the Drought Declaration does, let me first start by what it does for the county. So it initiates the state review process. It also documents what we're talking about right now. And that documents, so if there's anything that occurs in the summer, we've already forwarded this up. And it positions us for the tools. So even though the county would declare a drought declaration, it still needs to go through the state process to adopt those tools. And that would go to the Oregon Water Resource Department, and they would be able to, if they approved that drought declaration, temporary drought permits, emergency ground surface and water permits, temporary water transfers, so that they would be able to move water around. And then if it was federally recognized, so even though the state declares it, then it would have to go to the feds. And if the federal USD and federal assistance recognize it, the Farm Service Agency drought programs become unlocked, livestock forage assistance, crop loss assistance, and also emergency.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
They all are very, very active programs. The other thing that's unique in Oregon is once we declare or get our declaration approved, is contiguous counties also become involved in the program. So it's Union County, Morrow County, bring together and see better. But it's going to be a crazy summer and fall. Look out for smoke.
Yeah, I think pulling the data up today from the snow chill reports just in our region, because if you look at the Y basin, there's some areas in the Cascade Locks that are included, which increase our median. There's some areas that in the worst historically that we have seen.
And all you have to do is look back 1 year, and Mackay had already started minimal releases in late December and early January. Don't have spill water.
We're not even at 50%.
No. Crazy. Entertain a motion.
Okay, yes. I move to adopt order number BCC 2026-011.
I would second that. Do we need to put an effective date on it as of today? Does that need to be included? No. Okay. I second that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Sage.
Great job. Next is the wolf depredation payables.
Back again, Commissioners, Nick Warner, Deputy County Counsel. For you is an order for the wolf depredation payables from the Wolf Depredation Advisory Committee. 8 producers this year. The amounts are detailed in the order and the attached payables.
Never enough money.
Yeah, I can. I move to adopt order number BCC 2026-010.
I second that, and also at the same time, thank everybody that sits on the Wolf Depredation Committee. It's not an easy task, but it's taken very professionally, especially with the changes this year. It took us a lot longer to get through it. Hopefully the changes kind of smooth things out in the future. Been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Nick. And with that, brings us to the end of the meeting. Any comments?
Nope. Thank you.
Comments?
No.
I have none. Meeting adjourned.